On the second day after her return to Elantra, the city she policed as a groundhog, Private Kaylin Naya fell out of bed, daggers in hands, knees bent. After one confused moment, she sheathed her daggers, took a brief look around the otherwise empty royal guest chambers that served as her temporary home, and let loose a volley of leontine curses. The small translucent winged lizard that habitually slept above her head squawked in protest. She'd swept him out of the way without a second thought. He hovered in front of her face as she cursed. She didn't, at the moment, have anything left over for groveling apologies. Leontine wasn't the usual language heard in the halls of the Imperial Palace, nor was it generally heard in the function rooms, and when it wasn't the particular phrasing she now indulged in. On the other hand, the thunderous sounds that had driven her from sleep pretty much guaranteed that no one who'd care could possibly hear her words. Kaylin could scream until she was blue in the face with the same results. Anyone in the palace halls could at the moment. Dragons were having a discussion. When she'd first heard dragons converse in their native tongue, she'd thought of earthquakes or tidal waves. Distinguishing individual voices had been less important than covering both her ears in the vague hope she'd preserve some of her hearing. A couple of weeks in the palace, with Bellis Deo for a companion, had changed that. She could pick out 3 loud, painfully loud, voices in the crash of distant thunder. Dearmat's, Bellis Deo's, and the Emperor's. While she generally enjoyed the arguments between Bellis Deo and Dearmat, she had zero desire to ever interrupt or witness any argument which also contained the Emperor. Even mention of the Emperor was probably career-limiting. It was dark, but the storm of sound in progress didn't seem like it would die down any time soon, and sleep was pretty much impossible, at least for Kaylin. The rest of the Dragon Court was probably in hiding, but immortals didn't need anything as petty as sleep. The second she had the time to find a new place, she was so out of here. The small dragon landed on her shoulders. She'd named him Hope, but felt self-conscious actually calling him that, and she hadn't had time to come up with a name that suited him better. He yawned, folded himself across her shoulders like a badly formed shawl, and closed his eyes. Clearly, dragon shouting didn't bother him in the slightest. Then again, he probably understood what they were saying.